we're looking at moving pictures of a still life, which flips the brain. It flips it over. So I'm kind of wondering where are you going with that, or what was your intention there?
Well, the initial thing, as I said, was this kind of reductive process. But then when I realized, I guess something similar to you, and I still don't. It's not that there's other. Marina Abramovich has done things like this. It's not that I invented it, but the effect that it has, this kind of strange, kind of in between photography and performance and video, is a place, I guess, that I kind of keep doing projects that kind of poke it in different ways. Yeah, so I'm not sure I'm answering your question, but but it's, sometimes I feel like I'm doing the exact same thing over and over, but then I also feel like I'm kind of, I guess, like I said before, poking it from different directions and approaching it in different ways to kind of tease this area apart.
We have a question in the front. The mic is on its way.
Just as an aside, looking at your work is long looks. Most of the time when I go through a gallery, I don't spend that kind of time. I'm looking for what I believe is some subtlety, something in there. It just keeps me looking. And I would complain probably if I had to look at too many in one, kind of one breath. But your work is probably got me looking longer than I've ever looked at any art before. So anyway, with that said, I just congratulate you.
Thank you.
Do we have one last question for Adad?
There's a couple. Oh.
A couple more? Okay. Where are they coming from? I don't see any hands. Okay, all the way in the back. Speaking of endurance tests, or Alex with the mic there.
Hi, I have two small questions. One is in the Russian soldiers. Earlier today you talked about the importance of getting the photograph right at the beginning, but it was so beautifully composed that I was wondering how much cropping you did for that. The second question I have is, given your interest in twins and in mirror images, have you considered doing a kaleidoscope vivant?
No, but my son would love it. What do you mean? Explain it.
Well, a kaleidoscope is a moving mirror image.
I know what a kaleidoscope is.
Yeah. So have you considered doing something like with people? The thing you did in the Vancouver Museum, the rotunda, it looked like a kaleidoscope to me. So I was wondering if that was something that would interest you, to extend that into a kaleidoscope where they move a little bit, but they remain mirror images. Your use of colors would so lend itself to that. Just something I thought about. Yeah. And also, what's next?
I don't understand what it would look like, but it sounds good.
Well, that's okay.
What's next?
Yeah, what's next? And then, did you crop the Russian soldier photograph?
The Russian soldiers is not cropped. I shoot everything with 2 cameras. Same was true for here. And so in that way, Anson thought I was crazy to shoot with 2 cameras. And a lot of people do. But in that way, I can kind of double my odds. And so I don't do much cropping. In the photograph, sometimes a little. In the video, never any. But it gives you, you can try one thing and then you have a kind of a second chance. As for what's next, well, since we're sort of close to Mexico and San Antonio, I'll plug, I have a show that just opened, which is a commission for the Museo Tamayo in Mexico City. And that'll be, they've acquired it, but so they own it now, but I think it'll be up through December or something, if you happen to go there. Otherwise, I have a catalog coming out in a month, which I think they might get in the bookstore here.
Send me the information.
I will.
Do our best effort.
And I'm going back to Russia to produce another project in next week.
Any further questions? Yes. Trish, up here in the front. The microphone is on its way.
Well, first of all, I had a comment. I couldn't help thinking about H.P. Robinson and Raylander in the history of photography, early photographers who staged images. And I wondered if you'd looked at those and if you could, and also even Witkin, and if you'd talk a bit about your influence.
Witkin, like Joel Peter Witkin?
Yeah, I mean, he staged a sort of.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big influence, but there's some amazing. An amazing is Lewis Carroll's photographs are pretty amazing with his kids and stuff. There's endless influences. I guess I could talk about one that I've used. Is The Russians was actually based on Sergei Prokudin-Gorsky, who did these amazing. You should look him up online because it's mind blowing. But he made full color photographs in like 1905 to 1915 all over Russia. And if you look at them, they look like they were taken 20 years ago, not 100 years ago. I'm trying to think. I've not so much, I suppose, in terms of influence. I mean, I've looked at a lot of them, but I guess also somehow maybe like sculptures or paintings are more interesting for me to work with than to work with a photograph. If that makes sense.
Okay, thanks.
Question over here. They'll just pass the mic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Loretta,
Well,
our seamstress.
I was fascinated to see those pictures of you as a young boy. It was so telling in a way of your creativity. I mean, it had to have been an incredible influence on you. And just have loved seeing everything we've seen here tonight. And I wondered what did your sister end up doing?
What did my sister end up doing? It's funny because my sister, in some ways, went really the straight path, but she's totally eccentric. I mean, she doesn't realize it, I think, but she's quite eccentric. But yeah, she works at a computer company, and has tried to be as straight as possible. Like when she goes on vacation, they book a hotel close to a mall. They don't even look for. That's no joke.
Well, your parents, I mean, that had to have been in such an incredible childhood that you had.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think I just turned 40 this year or last year, and I think now I can I feel like I kind of hid these pictures for a long time because they're embarrassing, but
no, it's fabulous. I mean, it's incredible. It's just an incredible history.
But I also think when you grow up, the grass is always green. I mean, I always wanted to not drive around in a painted van and to watch TV and eat chocolate bars and So.
Well, on that note, I think for those who haven't eaten yet, maybe they're getting hungry. So I want to thank you, Dad, for an amazing conversation and
Thank you all.
stuff that
Thank
we're
you all
going to
for
be
coming
thinking
out.
about for a long time.